All right, good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone joining. Um, we certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us today. My name is Mark Bolger. I'm the Director of Sales for the Life and the Final Expense products. Actually joined by Cody Johnson, who is our Director of Sales for the Health and Medicare products. And then we have a special guest, Lawrence Vivenzio, who is our sales rep for National Guardian Life Insurance Company, and they're the ones who have the essential long-term care product that we're going to kind of be discussing today. But generally, we wanted to start off the year, with some sales and some cross-selling opportunities for you guys to make sure that you're not leaving any business on the table, right? So it's very, very important, if you are selling Medicare supplements or, final expense, life insurance, whatever it may be, long-term care is certainly something that you need to bring to the table. You need to have that conversation with your clients. And today, Lawrence is going to go over some great tips and some selling points that you can have during the conversations with your clients, during appointments and such. So today it's going to be long-term care and Medicare cross-selling opportunities. And let's go ahead and get started here. So before we get into everything, I want to give you guys a little bit of background on Pinnacle. We might have some new agents or some fairly new agents on the call today. So, if you're not contracted with Pinnacle, some things that you can get with us if you come on board. So we offer education. We have training for all different products and different sales tips and all sorts of different topics. We actually have an archive of different webinars that we've done throughout the years. We pretty much covered every single product, every single carrier, and as new products come out, obviously, they come out, every couple months. We're on top of that. We're going to make sure that you guys get the proper tools for learning all about the products and so forth. We offer top contracts. So we have, I think, over 150 different contracts from life insurance to Medicare to long-term care, everything for the senior market. We have all the top-rated carriers plus some smaller companies. So regardless of where you are in the country, you have access to all of the contracts that we offer. And the contracts that we offer are also direct contracts. So you are paid directly from the carrier. There's no middleman. We don't pay out any commissions here at Pinnacle. You're contracted directly with the carrier. So that's nice. If you decide to leave Pinnacle to go somewhere else, your book of business is going to go with you as well. So that's always very important. We have a variety, as I mentioned, we are in the senior markets. We do everything from Medicare, annuities, life insurance, final expense, long-term care, all that good stuff. So certainly check out our website, pfsinsurance.com, and you can certainly learn some more. We offer the latest technology as far as like the quoting software, e-apps, anything that's cutting edge. We're right on top of it, and we spend a lot of money making sure that ours is the most competitive technological platforms out there. So definitely check that out. We have the expertise. We have a couple dozen sales directors in here. We have a whole support staff, a licensing and contracting department. So whatever it is you need, you can always give us a call, and kind of ties into the support factor here as well. We are essentially your virtual back office from submission to commission. Pinnacle, we will assist you every step of the way. Okay. Some of the other resources that we offer, we have unlimited resources, and we're continuously adding to this. So I kind of mentioned on the previous slide, we have the free website tools, including the quoting software, the e-app tools. We also have a creative department that will help set you up a free website. All you have to do is give us a call. We'll get you in touch with our creative design team. They will help you design a logo, design, different color schemes, whatever you want. It's a free one-page landing website that we offer for you guys. Lead programs, everything from Medicare, life, annuities, long-term care. Certainly give us a call. We have everything from direct mailers to internet leads. We can also custom tailor any marketing programs to fit your business needs. Agent and agency tools. We actually have a brand new CRM that we're going to be releasing hopefully in the next month or two. So we'll certainly be doing some training webinars on that, and you'll see a bunch of announcements coming out when we're ready to launch that. And again, it's going to be free for everybody that is contracted with Pinnacle. Okay. And then lastly, we have compliance training. We have an entire compliance department. If you're if you're designing flyers or designing ads and or even anything like business cards or things on your website, and you want to make sure that it's compliant, that you're not going to get in trouble with any of the CMS rules or anything with the DOI, you can send it over to us. We'll review everything and we'll let you know if this is compliant for you to release into the public and everything. So I'm going to pass it over to Lawrence here in a second. Just wanted to show you guys again, this is our website, pfsinsurance.com. Please feel free to check it out. As you can see right on the main page, we have everything that you need for Medicare. We have our Medicare toolkit. We got access right to the quoting software. So everything that you need to do, and most of you have or are already selling a lot of Medicare supplements. So I think with what Lawrence has to say about introducing the long-term care, I think it's be very, very beneficial to not only increasing your business, but to also help your clients, get the most out of what they need. So without further ado, Lawrence, I'm going to switch it over to you here.
All right. I see the magic button now.
Perfect.
All right, Mark, I appreciate it, pal. Thank you very much.
Hey,
everyone out there in viewer land, thank you very much for taking some time to chat with us a little bit today. With it being a new year, I am not here as the NGL carrier guy to shove a whole lot of product down your throat. Now, I love talking about our product. I'm very excited about our product, and I hope when we get to that point, you all will be too. And I know, Mark, we did a couple of product sessions recently, but this one I wanted to make a little bit more conversational, a little bit more, how do we bring this up in a way that's maybe a little different than how you brought it up in the past and help you have more successful conversations with your clients rather than them just telling you, no, I don't want to look at it. And Mark, this couldn't have been a better time of year for you to schedule this. So I want to just reiterate how much I appreciate the time today, because everyone just got done with open enrollment, right? We're what, about a month out? So you all recently just did a whole lot of work. You know a whole lot more about a certain group of your clients than you did 3 months ago, right? So you've got a lot of your pre-qualification already done, right? You've already recently talked to people about their health, about their options. You've already got that warm feeling because they're very happy with everything you just did for them, right? You've already got that introduction done. So I think this is a great time to go back to some of those clients and say, hey, you know what, there's something else we really need to talk about. And, with the chaos of open enrollment, there were a couple reasons there why I couldn't talk to you about it at the time. But this is extremely important for us to talk about. And here is where you go from there, right? And I would urge you in future years to do this up front, even during open enrollment, because I think it'll be very, very lucrative for you to do it this way. And I've seen a lot of Medicare producers very successful in implementing this approach. And they've seen their closing ratios skyrocket, doing it just a little bit differently. So what are many of us out there doing now? Well, from what I had observed, I saw a lot of Medicare producers selling their MedSup or MedAdvantage plan, and then after it's all said and done, saying, hey, by the way, did you want to talk about long-term care? That could be a very easy no, right? Hey, by the way, did you want to talk about this? Well, no, not really. I came to you for Medicare. Why do I want to talk about that, right? here's what I suggest you do going forward and how I suggest you bring it up this year going back to them. Tell them what you do. Don't tell them what products you offer. So here's what I mean by that. Mr. Client, I'm an expert in helping you plan for health care in your retirement. Now, you came to me because you needed a Medicare plan, or we connected because you were looking for a Medicare plan, or whatever it might be, because you turned 65. But I'm an expert in helping you plan for health care in your retirement. To do that, we need to talk about two major items. One of them you already know about, which is some form of your Medicare plan, whether it be a supplement or a Med Advantage, right? But there is a big component of health care in your retirement that Medicare doesn't cover for very long. The most they'll take care of it is for 100 days. But there's this type of help they don't cover called custodial care, which is when you need help with simple daily living activities. And you could need this help for a year, 2 years, 5 years, the rest of your life. It just depends on what happens when, right? And Medicare won't pay for that for longer than 100 days. And that kind of help is really expensive. So if my value to you, Mr. Client, if I am an expert in helping you plan for healthcare in your retirement, and we don't address both of these items, I'm not doing my job for you. I'm only doing half of it if we only address one of them. So this is what I do. It is crucially important that we discuss both of these topics to make sure that I am doing the best I can for you and getting you what you need to truly plan for healthcare in your retirement. So your key point, don't ask them, oh, by the way, do you want to talk about long-term care? Tell them what you do. And I have seen so many Medicare producers take that approach, and I have watched it completely change their product portfolio and how much long-term care they sell, in addition to Medicare. And I'm even seeing a lot of folks do this during open enrollment period when things are totally chaotic, right? They're integrating this, and it's been very lucrative for them, and they're doing a better job holistically taking care of their clients, not just responding to the ask, right? So don't ask them, tell them what you do. So that's my first big one. Mark, anything jump in on questions or any comments or anything that I can address before I get to one other Medicare cross-selling point here?
Actually, I just had somebody, I think I can answer it. It was the 100 days, but they were asking how long does Medicare pay? It's no more than 100 days.
Yeah. So
right.
On paper, Medicare is supposed to pay for up to 100 days for skilled care in a facility to help somebody recover from whatever their condition is, right? Days 21 to 100, there's actually a significant copay. And generally, they'll find a way to not pay for 100 days if you're not showing any progress of getting better. Right?
Interesting.
That's what Medicare is designed to do, right? Medicare is supposed to get you better. Something happens, you get the skilled care you need, you get better. Long-term care is not stuff where you're going to get better, or at least not stuff where you're going to get better very quickly, right? It's stuff where something happens, whether it's an accident, an illness, a diagnosis, some kind of cognitive impairment, where you need help doing simple things, not things you need skilled care for, right? So simple things like putting on your shirt in the morning, which is dressing, or bathing, or getting to the bathroom, or getting out of bed and moving to your chair. You don't need skilled care from a licensed physician to put your shirt on, right? That's long-term care. And that type of help today, in most areas, the average monthly bill is probably up near $7,000 a month nowadays.
Wow.
Some areas may be a little lower, some may be a little higher. Home care, national average now is probably around $30 an hour. You need 8 hours a day. It's $240 a day.
Sure.
So that's the kind of help we're talking about. That's the kind of cost exposure we're talking about. And that's where the 100 days came from, as we were talking about how to make that transition from one product to the other.
Oh, perfect. Thanks for answering that. And actually, you just gave me another idea. Maybe over one of the next couple slides, if you could maybe show us how they can estimate those costs from that. I think it was the Genworth website. If you have time.
Yes, I did show you that on a previous webinar. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, I will. I'd be happy to.
Okay, perfect.
But I want to give one other key Medicare point here, one other talking point. For those of you doing Med Advantage plans, which I believe is many of you now, keep in mind what you just did. chances are you just saved them a bunch of money because they had another product and you got them a Med Advantage plan at zero premium. Figure out how much you saved and help that be part of your transition. Hey, Mr. Client, I'm an expert in helping you plan for healthcare in your retirement. To do that, we need to talk about both of these topics, fill in with the details we just went through. By the way, by changing to your Medicare Advantage plan, I just saved you X per month. Let's call it $200, right? So now that we've identified these $200 or found these $200 where you don't need to have that additional premium on the plan you previously had because we got you your zero premium Med Advantage plan, the other piece of this we need to talk about is a long-term care plan because, again, Medicare doesn't cover long-term care very long. So to do that, we can take that $200 and better leverage that to help protect you into a long-term care plan. And I'll tell you, folks, I know most of you are talking to 65-year-olds. So, yeah, that would be an age near a 65-year-old. Say it's a single male. And I know a lot of Medicare producers hear the words long-term care, and they go, man, that stuff's too expensive. I don't want to play with it. Well, the smallest plan you can get this 65-year-old single man is a monthly premium of $39. Tell me that's not a premium you're comfortable selling, right? So there's a huge range of premiums we can develop. It could be from $39 at this particular age for a single male in this state. I could probably show you a single premium that's $500,000. But there are a lot of affordable plans that you can give this person. Add inflation to it. $63 a month. Tell me you can't sell that premium. Right? Make it a little bit more of a robust plan. $100 a day, 2 years with inflation. That's a pretty darn good plan. $126 a month. So if you just saved him, for example, $200 on his Medicare premiums because you did a Med Advantage plan, you can transition that into the premium for a long-term care policy. So I wanted to give you a couple of those conversion points, a couple of those talking points, and show you that you can develop cost-effective plans, and especially for those of you getting people on a Med Advantage plan for the first time, saving them premium, it's a great way to transition that into a long-term care sale. Mark, I wanted to give a couple other talking points for, if someone's talking about life insurance with somebody or possibly even annuities, but before I move on, I know most of you are doing a lot of Medicare business and you consider yourselves Medicare producers, so I wanted to focus on these 2 points for a good chunk of our time here.
Yeah, for sure, and that's totally fine. To briefly touch on the life and the annuities as well. I know, we do have some agents that, do multiple lines of insurance besides the Medicare. So that would be great.
Good deal. So those are the 2 big ones I really wanted you to take away. But there's also kind of casual conversation points I want you to have too. This doesn't just have to be with clients, right? You're always selling. It doesn't just have to be when you're sitting behind your desk. So talk to people, right? How's the family? I haven't talked to you about your wife or your kids in a while. How's the family? Maybe they'll start talking about their parents. Hey, have you seen all this construction in here? Yeah, there's actually one in my county, and it looks like they're building a new country club. It's going to be an assisted living facility. Great way to just bring it up casually, right? Have you seen the construction in the area? You see that country club building that's going to be an assisted living facility? The place looks beautiful, doesn't it? Do you know anybody that's needed that kind of help? Have you ever had this in your own family? Did you get together with your parents or in-laws for the holidays? How was that? Let them talk. And chances are, when you haven't seen them in about a year, there's new things that come up. And if their parents or in-laws are in that age of needing care, chances are they're going to talk to you about it. So, key points. Steer the conversation toward talking about either care situations or care settings. And this slide obviously needs updating. It was one I was using a little later last year. But during the holidays, it's when families find out different things about their loved ones that they didn't know a few months prior. The number 1 day for newly filed claims in our industry is the Monday after Thanksgiving. Because people have gotten together for the first time in a while and they noticed something a little different about Uncle Jeff or Dad or Aunt Susie or whatever it might be. So use these points, use these ideas, right? Again, this isn't a product-focused session. I just want to try and give you some of these talking points or transition points where I've seen people very successful in having this conversation in different light. Now, we talked about some different product types and transitions. life to long-term care. So you're having the life insurance conversation. Again, tell them what you do or what the plan is going to do, right? It's life insurance, right? Well, what are you really protecting? Well, I'm getting a death benefit. What are you really protecting? Mitigating the consequences for your family that could be caused by your death. Yeah, there's going to be a death benefit, but what's it really protecting? The financial, emotional, and physical well-being of your loved ones, right? And life insurance more particularly on the financial well-being. Well, what's the event that triggers this? Death. Well, what if there was another event that could happen while you were still alive? What would the consequences be if you couldn't be left alone at home? If you couldn't bathe or dress or get around the house? I'm not saying this ever will happen to you, but if it did, what would the financial, emotional, and physical consequences be on your loved ones? Right? An untimely death generally has, of course, emotional consequences and significant financial consequences. But with a long-term care event, you definitely have the emotional consequences. The person's still with you, but it takes a toll. And there are physical consequences here for those around you as well. And the financial consequences, we just talked a bit about the cost of care, could be devastating for not only the person that needs the help, but the entire family who has to figure out how to help them. Can you think of anyone who's gone through this with their family?
And also, Lawrence, real quick, what's the statistic as well? Isn't it like 1 out of 3 people are going to need some sort of long-term care?
Well, it depends on what stat you want to go by. There's a lot of organizations and studies out there, and even the federal website will say 70% of us are going to need some kind of help at some point. And that's true. But to qualify for a claim on a long-term care policy, you need to have require assistance with at least 2 activities of daily living. That 70%, that is just one activity of daily living, some kind of help at some point, right? So the number for needing help with at least 2 activities of daily living is still greater than a coin flip. It's 52%, and I think that's going to continue to rise as our population continues to age.
Sure.
Right? That's not a coin I want to flip if it's going to cost me, in today's numbers, $7,500 a month, or in the future, $15,000 to $20,000 a month. That cost tripled in the last 20 years. It's probably going to do it again.
Right.
Right. So what would the consequences be if something happened while you're still alive? So here's your key points. The connection here is the same consequences, just 2 different events, because they probably have a life insurance plan. Or if they don't, that's one of the reasons why they're talking to you. And they've agreed that the consequences of that death would be devastating to their family, so they want to protect them. That's why they got a plan. Different event, same consequences. And one of my mentors coined this term, and it's one that she always said that always resonated with me. She was like, look, you have your life insurance. This is lifestyle insurance. Because ultimately, if something happens to you, not only is this protecting your lifestyle, you're going to get the help you need one way or another. This will help you get that help more effectively. You'll have the dignity and freedom to choose where, when, and from whom, because you'll have the funds to be a private pay patient. And it also protects the lifestyle of everyone around you who has to answer the question, who is going to do what, when? So that's some of the life insurance to long-term care conversation.
Excellent. I love the lifestyle insurance. That's such a good term for really what it is. What was I going to say? I was going to say I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm looking at something else here, but it'll come back to me. Continue. I'm sorry.
Hey, when the light bulb goes off, just chime in, buddy. No problem. So, and that was just the right way to put it, right? You have your life insurance. This is your lifestyle insurance. Oh, and that kind of ties into how we talk about the annuity transition, too. Go ahead, Mark.
Real quick. I'm so sorry. It just came back to me. So I wanted you to real quick just kind of talk about, like, hey, if you do purchase this this long-term care insurance, and what happens if you don't get sick? I mean, that's certainly a worry of clients. And I think, Lawrence, you can explain with NGL's product that you don't have to worry about that. If you don't get sick, hey, that's fine. You can get return a premium, or there's a couple different options where they could leave that as a death benefit and so forth. So just kind of wanted to chime in on that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. And you know what? I kind of think maybe our next session, we should just do the entire thing on objection handling. Because that is one of
Right.
the number one objections people have, right? What happens if I don't need this kind of help? Um, and one angle you could take it from is, hey, we can check a box for that. There's this rider called the return of premium. And then if you ever die and don't need help, your premium gets returned to your beneficiaries at your death, less any long-term care claims paid, right? So if you need it, it's there. If you don't, there's a return of premium benefit. But that benefit costs a bunch of money, right? It will cost more. Here's how I used to, I'm more of a purist. I'm more of an old school long-term care type of guy. And I address that conversation from a few different angles, right? I like to say, look, Joe, I hope you die and never need this. That'd be the ideal situation. And I had a mentor who called this big mistake, little mistake, right? I hope you die and never need this. Then you made a little mistake. You paid $3,000 a year on your premium and you never needed it. Little mistake. Big mistake would be never getting this and then you need the help and in the future you're out 20 grand a month. Which mistake would you rather make, Joe? 20,000 a month or 3,000 a year? It's entirely up to you and I'm happy to help you either way. Right? So that's one way to address that pushback. Another way, I have another friend in the industry who coined a great term. He's like, look, that use it or lose it thing, if you add a return of premium, you kind of have a use it and lose it because then you're going to use it for care and you're going to lose that return of premium benefit, right? So either one has its, pros and its cons, but he also has this part of a conversation and says, look, let's go back to the essence of what insurance is. What does any insurance policy do? Well, you pay a fee called a premium to transfer risk to an insurance company. And generally, you want to pay the lowest premium you possibly can and transfer as much risk as you can for that premium dollar, right? That's the essence of insurance, any kind of it. Well, if you get a long-term care policy without a return of premium, you use it every day because every single day, something could have happened and you're covered, right? You're transferring the risk if something happens along the way. And when you don't get a return of premium rider or you don't look at, a combination type of a product, you're paying the least amount of premium. So you're fulfilling the whole point of why insurance exists anyway. You're paying the least amount of premium to transfer the most amount of risk in case something happened along the way. Right? So it's used all the time. And if you don't need it, you made the little mistake, not the big one of not getting it and needing the help. So it all kind of ties together and comes back full circle.
Excellent. And that was kind of one of our Tom had kind of asked that question. I kind of wanted to throw that in there. So thank you for the question, Tom.
Oh, for sure. And Tom, let me give you these extra tidbits. And here, because people tie in what about your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance? You don't stay up all night because your house didn't burn down, right? Like, I get that one. That's kind of the old school answer. I like to take those a little bit of a step further and say, look, let's go back to that essence of insurance conversation, transferring the most amount of risk for the least amount of premium in case something happened along the way, right? Let's go back to that. Would you pay more premium on your homeowner's insurance if you got some kind of a benefit back after you sold your home? In most cases, probably not, because you want to pay the least amount of premium to transfer the most amount of risk in case something happened along the way, right? Would you pay a higher premium on your health insurance if you needed absolutely no care that year to get a benefit back in the end of the year? Probably not. Why? Because you want to pay the least amount of premium. You're still transferring the same amount of risk in case something happens along the way. One's a higher premium, one's a lower premium. We're usually creatures of choosing the lower premium, right? So those are some good corollaries to make when someone says, well, what if I never use this thing? Look at all the other stuff we have and how insurance makes economical sense, why it's built, and what the essence of it is. And long-term care does that. So that's how I address a lot of that.
Excellent.
Let's give you a couple talking points if you're talking about annuities, and are very similar to the life insurance ones. But this one focuses on lifestyle from the jump, right? So what does an annuity do? Well, it's going to provide income in their retirement. But what does it do? What does that income do? You're planning for lifestyle. It's going to provide them income to pay their bills. It's going to provide them their fund money. Your lifestyle planning. Retirement lifestyle planning, specifically. What if something happened that can totally derail that lifestyle you've created? It can completely change what that income is used for. And it'll have financial, emotional, and physical consequences on their loved ones. So we created this annuity so you would have the funds to pay for your lifestyle and your retirement, your bills, and your fund. What if you have a new bill that's $15,000 to $25,000 a month, estimated future cost of care in 20, 25 years? And you still have all those bills that you had before you needed this kind of help. What's going to happen to this plan we created? So the annuity conversation is, we can absolutely plan for lifestyle in your retirement. We can even, sell them a FIA with a lifetime income rider, right? Lifetime guaranteed income. But if this event happened, everything you're planning on using that for will completely change. And we've created a plan that's not going to do what you wanted it to do. Unless we also talk about your long-term care plan. And then that will protect this lifestyle, this retirement income. It will allow it to do what you originally wanted it to do. So the key point here is you've got to make the connection that the two must go together. The annuity is creating that income to generate and provide for that lifestyle in their retirement. Just like the life insurance, the long-term care is lifestyle insurance. And it's going to protect everything you put that annuity in place for. It's one of the top reasons why people outlive their retirement savings. You have to plan for it. So that was my last bit on product transition conversation. Where we could go from here, or maybe the next session, we could talk a little bit more about what you say next and how to set the context for the rest of the conversation, how to further then go deeper into their health and make sure they qualify, make sure their awareness of everything is on the same page, and then you can transfer all of that you've just established and go into their resources available to fund the plan and transfer that to an application and a sale. And if you didn't notice, the acronym was CHART, Context, Health, Awareness, Resources, and Transfer. And that is a session roughly all on its own. So these were your conversation starters. These were your transition points. This will get you from the Medicare to life insurance, the casual conversation, or the annuity conversation into that long-term care conversation in a smooth way. So open up these conversations. That's a great problem to have, that you just opened up a conversation. You got them to say yes. What do you do next? I think we could do an entire session just on that, and then maybe tie in some of that objection handling on the tail end. But I'm hopeful you found value in this today. Mark, forgive me, I owe you two things. One of them you asked about cost of care. The other one you wanted me to show a little bit on the product. I'm happy to field any questions or jump into one of those. You tell me where you'd like to go from here, my friend.
Yeah. I think, estimating the cost of care would be good. And then, like you said, I think, for another session, we can kind of continue off of this, because I think this is a lot of great beneficial information that I've had a couple people send a chat in. Donna was saying, hey, this is great. I'm so glad I attended this. I learned a lot. Don't want to leave any money on the table, and this is an easy transition. She was saying it was kind of hard to bring up long-term care without the client automatically shutting it down. I think, Lawrence, you gave some excellent points on how to approach the conversation by telling them what you do, not asking them. So Donna, thank you for that. Steve chimed in. He said, "Thank you so much for the time. Learned a lot. Looking to ramp up his business this year. Thank you so much, Steve. We appreciate you coming on." And let's see, I think that was it for now. But I definitely think it would be great to do let's say like a part 2 of this and kind of go a little bit more into the product training and also like on the next steps after you've initiated the conversation. Okay, what do you do next? What are the questions that you need to ask? It just reminded me too. I actually attached a handout for everybody that they can download this. It's an LTC fact finder, and it's just like a one pager. If you're out meeting with some clients, you don't need to be an expert on long-term care. You can just ask them a couple questions, fill that out. You can send it back to us here at Pinnacle. We'll get in touch with you and say, hey, you know what, these are a couple good options for your client. We'll run the proposals. Anything that you need, we'll help prepare you for that sale. So definitely take advantage of downloading that handout there.
Absolutely. And really the next pieces of the conversation are going to be around you setting the context for the conversation and finding out what your client's level of awareness is on the topic. So you've already established it's important and why it ties into these other products you're helping them with. The next piece is going to be level setting, seeing why they're opposed to this, seeing if they have any deeply held misconceptions, which most people do. Because when you say long-term care, most people immediately are going to say, I'm never going to need that. I challenge you to agree with them. I agree, you'll never need that. But if you did, what would the consequences be? Not only to you, but everybody around you. And we'll expound upon that as we chat on the next session, because I could probably take up another half hour of everybody's time, but I'm sure you all want to get back to doing what you do best, which is out there selling. So if there were any other questions, Mark, I really just want to thank everybody for taking some time and remembering that NGL was the one to try and bring some things to you that helps you expand your business, and know that we are here when the long-term care conversations happen with best-in-class service, a great product, and great offices like Mark and Pinnacle to help us distribute this product and earn the business from you. So look forward to taking the next steps here and taking care of all of you and becoming true partners.
Absolutely. And Lawrence, we certainly thank you for your time and all of your insight here. I mean, this is some great information, obviously, that, everybody's, taken away from this. And we're going to, everybody that's registered for this webinar, we're going to invite you guys as well to the next part. Hopefully maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll be in touch with specific dates and everything. But if you can't make it, that's fine. We have recordings, like I mentioned. We have a whole archive of webinars that we've done, so you can just go in there and search anything for long-term care, and you'll be able to see any of the previous presentations that we've done in the past. So Lawrence, again, thank you so much. This has been so informative to everybody. I'm going to switch this back to my screen here just so I can show you guys. I'm going to give you our contact information here. It looks like Cody had some technical difficulties with his with signing on here, but he was able to listen and everything. So anybody, if you guys have questions, whether it's Medicare, life, final expense, annuities, feel free to reach out to myself. Here's all my contact information. Same with Cody Johnson. He handles the health and Medicare products. He can certainly help you out with some questions that you may have on some med sups. And again, thank you everybody so much for taking the time. Happy New Year to everyone, and we'll be in touch about the next session. And Lawrence, again, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate all of your help, and hope everybody has a great rest of your day. And again, Happy New Year to everybody. Looking forward for a very successful 2024. Thanks again, everyone.